when you lost someone. So I hope this will be helpful. Enjoy it. Welcome everyone. So happy to be here again. I'm very excited about this topic. It's very close to my heart. How is everyone? How you are all doing? So just say hello in the chat, say your name. Say hello. Probably we're gonna see your name. So today we're gonna be talking about how to help yourself with grief, loss, how to help yourself when you feel like you cannot complete the grieving period. This topic is very close to my heart because in 1 year a few years ago, in 1 year I lost 5 people, and this including like my father, and the most shocking was losing my brother. Definitely was sudden death, which was quite a journey to complete the grief. Hi, peace. Hi, Sarah. Hi from Europe. Awesome. So if you have any questions, just ask. I don't consider myself an expert or anything. I only speak from experiences, my own experiences, and of course working with people as well, helping them to complete things. So like I shared with you, especially my brother, when my brother died, he committed suicide. It was very sudden death. I didn't expect that, to be honest. He was 26 only at the time. So of course I thought that we're gonna be, growing old together. So I've learned a lot through this process. It took me years to really complete that grief. And I also learned a lot about the grieving process and what helped me. So you going through this, basically you are in the phase of grieving. Last 2.5 years, definitely lots of death happened. Lots of soul decided to exit in many different ways. So I know that generally there's lots of grief happening in whole, planet because of that. And of course, due to the global situation, we've been going definitely through the grief in so many different ways as well, because many things changed in our life. So this is gonna be short session. I just gonna be sharing with you some tips. Maybe you haven't considered this in your process of grieving, or maybe actually you know also someone who is going through this and you see that they are struggling. Grief is a huge process, and often can bring not only that you're grieving from, whatever you're going right now, or maybe, losing a certain person, but also you can grieve after a work or job, or losing other things, your place to live and things like this. But I'm talking actually more here about losing someone. Of course, you will be grieving if you've lost job, or your place of living, or things like this. We all know that we have to grieve as well, but this session is very specific about grief when somebody die. So grief is big process because brings a lot, and we just riding the waves basically from moment to moment, and it's like never end, especially first probably 12 to 18 months. It's like never end storm. Hi Zero, so good to see you here. And please just share it here in the comments if you can relate this. Are you going through grief, or you've gone through grief? I would love to hear from you where you are, because I'm sure this subject, you are on this live because I guess you can relate to that. Or you have someone in your life that is going through this. So I would love to hear from you where you are on this journey. Are you going through grieving? You have someone who is going through this. You've gone through this and you just would like to find out more what you can do. Just comment that. It would be nice to know where people are here in this group. So of course, you're gonna feel numb, you're gonna feel angry, you're gonna deny this, you're gonna go all sort of emotions, and definitely this needs to be felt. So you have to feel the feelings for sure. This is number one. Um, so I give you some tips what really helped me to move forward with my brother especially. Of course, through not only just feeling the feelings and allowing myself to grieve, giving myself permission to grieve, not pretending that, I'm fine, I'm fine. Very important is that you allow people to come into your life to support you. I know it feels very much, like you want to isolate yourself, because the truth is, I remember when I was grieving, it felt like no one get me, like no one, because it is very individual journey, very personal journey, very, I cannot even tell you, like it feels like no one will can understand you, because it's just so intense journey. Yeah. So I know that when even friends were asking me, do you need any help or anything like this, I didn't even know what to tell them, because how can they help me? But I just want to say that definitely it's so important to open yourself for receiving even hugs. You don't need to even talk. You just can be honest and say, like, just can you come around and just be with me? That's it. I don't want to even talk about this. And that's perfect. I know that one of my friends did it. I was of course rejecting the support at the time. And she said, I just want to be with you, around you, nothing else. And she just held space for me. And it felt so beautiful. It was really hard space she created. And I just could be, in my sadness. Um, so it took me a few years. And what really helped me, there are a few things. What you can if you see that you're grieving more than you should, I mean, I don't know, to be honest, that's why I said I'm not expert. What is the average, time you should grieve? I definitely noticed that first 15 months was like, oh my God, hell, for sure. I'm just reading the comments here. Yes, I think so. With my half brother, that was strange for me, but went to the funeral with my dad. Mixed feelings, because also felt sadness for my dad losing his son. Yeah, was quite affected for the first year. Yeah, first year is just right, like super intensive. I would even say first year for sure, first anniversary, first Christmas, first birthday, everything. Oh, it's a big, it's a task to go through the process. I noticed that after like 18 months, 1 year and a half, you can cope more, like there's more ease. I'm not saying that you are free from all of that, but there is a more, less pain, I would say. But it takes time. And, for me, it took me, oh my God, years, really completing the grief. And I was doing certain things, and exercises, and even talk with certain people, who are more, like, let's say they know how to deal with this, yeah. And I did this all these exercises and things like this, and feeling the feeling and writing the letter and blah blah blah, whatever they tells you. I still felt like I couldn't get out of my cave. So what happened that literally I put myself in the cave. I felt like I died with him on many levels. And I'm like, what else I can do to finally complete it? I need to leave. I need to get out of this cave. And sometimes I felt like, oh my God, there is a light in the tunnel. Yes, let's hope that this is it. And I remember saying this every month. Okay, it's now March. Okay, by May, it's gonna be better. And then May, happened. And I was like, okay, maybe July will be better. And there was always hope that maybe next month I'll be better. Maybe next week. Um, so what really helped me, few things. I've realized that, and I highly recommend, if your grieving is quite a long time, then you need to do some other things than just the psychological level, like feeling the feelings and yeah. this is how can I say, I don't know even how to explain, because this is just such a delicate as well and very complex process. So what helped me, and actually even to be honest, I did this a few weeks ago again, it's doing ritual. That's why actually we have rituals, let's say to bury the body or to burn the body, cremate the bodies. All over the world we have different type of, rituals that, to say goodbye. And there is a reason, because it's very important that we complete the process, or it will help us to complete the process. So we need to say goodbye to that person, and also that the soul properly transit, so it's not hanging between different dimensions and not hanging here with us. And this is really important. It will help us with our grief. So that's why we have funerals, and they they are basically in different ways. We do this in different ways. Basically, it depends on the religion and countries and so on, and beliefs. Now, you may go to funeral and still not feeling complete, like me. I had, like I said, in the 1 year 5 deaths, and I could complete my father easier, my beloved granny compared to my brother, quite easier. Of course I had to go through the process, and my 2 uncles, but my brother was like, what else I can do. So one of the things is I realized on these journeys that, and I work with some people, that if you still feel sad and you feel maybe like you have apathy or depression, or like it's the heaviness, and you cannot make yourself start living fully, there is no joy. Of course, I'm not talking about first year or even first 2 years, that's normal, but I'm talking more when it's 4 years, 5 years. Some people I've met, they were still not be able to complete the grief after 10 years. That's a long time. You should already be living your life, you should already having your new life. So from my own experience, and or working with some people who couldn't complete the grief after so many years, few things happened. So when the soul is exiting this body, sometimes the emotional body is attached to person who is alive. And that's why it makes you feel like you cannot finish the grief. It's like hanging on you and making you feel like, I don't want to say depressed, but like you cannot shake off, and like you cannot move forward. It's heavy. It's like there can be certain emotions, let's say sadness, and also it depends how the person died, what the level of consciousness the person had, what actually happened, how the person died as well. Because this emotional body, I have, as I'm speaking to you, so much energies and so much goosebumps when I'm talking to you. So it all matters how the person died, what's happened, what the level of consciousness this person had, how the person was feeling, when they were dying, or, this is really important, because this emotional body can then get attached to other people who are living. So they are alive. And that's why you cannot shake off this process. You cannot literally, it feels like you cannot complete the grief. So this is one thing that I uncovered this. So it's very important to release this emotional body. Do some ritual to cleanse this body, basically. Now, some actually souls do not transit properly, and they actually get attached as well to person or to place. Because, for example, this person was very attached to their wealth, for example, their house, car, or things like this. They can also, still hanging in these realms. So it needs to feed off, of someone. So that's why, again, the person who, for example, lives still, let's say wife, lives still in this house, it's literally urban soul, basically the person who hasn't transited, and you may feel that energy. in your house if you are tuned enough. If you're not, you're still gonna feel it, but you're not gonna be aware why the way you feel. For example, tired. You're gonna be feeling constantly tired, like you have no energy, no motivation to move on with your life. That's a very common signs. So if you are after a few years and you feel that you're still tired, you have no motivation or things like this, definitely a few things you need to do. You need to release that spirit. So you can create some ritual when you have two candles, the candle with the purple candle and black candle, and you can use them, lit them up and have some offerings for working with the death energies, Gede, and some angels who are helping to help this soul to transit properly. So you can do ritual like this, to make sure that the soul is no longer attached and no longer even here in these realms and the same emotional body. I'm telling you, so many people don't even know that actually they have attached emotional body still, and like they've lost joy, they've lost they cannot complete the grief. So this is one of the things I'm just really recommending you, if you're dealing with this by yourself, or with if you know someone that is in that phase too long, other things they can try is releasing those energies. And of course, if they don't know how, they can reach out to people who knows how to do it and what to do, and support them. Another things what can happen is what was very hard for me, because my heart was so broken when my brother died. It literally crushed me. I was literally on the floor emotionally. I was okay going to work, but on emotional level, on heart level, on soul level, it crushed me. I felt like I just collapsed and died on emotional level. And I knew that why this death is so different. Like I had my beloved granny died just 2 weeks before my brother, just a few months before my dad died, and then I had two uncles as well, and also I had other deaths as well in the family. But with my brother was completely different beast to deal with. And you can, when someone dies, especially with sudden death, you literally have broken heart, like in pieces, and I'm not saying that you're not having broken heart when other people, I did have, but not at the level. So in this moment, it's just created shock, and it created like the soul fragments were gone. Some soul of my fragments were gone, and I needed to call them back so I can feel whole and complete again. So especially if you're dealing with some death, and for example, let's say you witness someone dying, or there was really traumatic stuff, it creates shock and trauma literally in your system by hearing things, by knowing even, and your parts of your soul can just, go. And that's why it feels like you are incomplete, and you feel like, you cannot become whole again. No matter, I'm telling you, I've tried so many things to help myself to go through this grief, working with certain people, and it just felt like I cannot feel whole, no matter what I was doing. So that's why I'm sharing this with you, because I know so many people. Again, I have so much energy going from me, so definitely I see there are some people here that they need this here in this space. They need you. Some of you needs to hear that. So there's so many people that they just think that they have to go through things, but there is so much more. There's so much more. So we need to bring that soul fragments back, doing soul retrieval. So this is what I did with a few clients, and I had to do with myself. And another thing, what I've learned, I needed to, and this really helped me, because I found out that I had some like a soul contract with my brother. So that's why when he died, I have again so much energy going through me. When he died, it's like, you know, like you have twin and one twin died. It's like it's like you cannot put yourself together. That's why I felt like I died with him, because then I understood that I had some soul contracts with him, and what I needed to do, bringing this energy back to me. And also it's like doing psychic surgery on my heart. So, you know, like you have something wrong with your heart, your physical heart, you go to surgery, you go to hospital, and they operate your heart. You can do it also on psychic level, and this make huge different in my life. This is very important topic, Carolina. This culture seems to wish to sweep death under the carpet. I too had my heart and soul broken from loss. Yes, Elizabeth, absolutely. Oh my God, I'm just reading your stuff, and yes, you know, people they don't know how to deal with death. They literally, someone dies and they go to work, getting busy, doing million stuff, just not to feel, just not to think. I'm telling you, I had people coming on my sessions after 10 years, wasting 10 years, and they still couldn't complete the grief. They were still like as zombies. Yes, they were doing work, they were doing this, they were like, but you could tell that they have no passion to life. They couldn't move on. They couldn't open their hearts for new relationship or for new career or for new way of living. And yes, it's just people like, you know, expect like they don't give permission themselves to grieve. That's normal. Like smile and I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah. Do you resonate with this? You know that we live like this. You know, like no one honor this process. It's like we don't even give ourselves permission to do that. And this is step one. Like this is a must. Yeah? And being vulnerable, if you're grieving, if someone asks you, you don't need to smile and be like this. You can be literally vulnerable and say, yeah, I'm not feeling too great. I am in a process of grieving. So I have a lot of emotions going through. Just being honest, this will liberate you instead of trying to pretend that you have everything together. You're bringing more heaviness on yourself. It's so much harder. You want to be isolating yourself, and you make this journey so much harder, and so much longer. And that's why I decided to talk about this, because it's so unnecessary that people go through so long. I wish if I knew what I now know, you know, when my brother died, oh my God, the whole journey would be completely different. Completely. And it wouldn't be so long. So long. So that's why I decided to do this session for anyone here who either, you know, was going through this. You know, don't be surprised. I actually did a few weeks ago. I did the ritual again, which I shared with you, with the candles and offerings and things like this, to make sure, because I felt still like I'm gonna actually do it again for my brother and my dad, because like I said, the emotional body can truly, even the spirit, the soul transited, the emotional body can still weighing you down. And because I had lots of traumas, you know, I had very specific relationship with my father. You know, he was very abusive alcoholic. I had to do so much healing because of that, and I knew that certain things still weighing me down. So I was making sure that things are not because of the deaths. Yeah. The same with my brother. I was so broken actually, in so many different ways, you know, on a hard level, that I even didn't want to. I went for funeral, and my body, he was cremated. He was cremated in Switzerland, and my mom was actually keeping the body. They freeze the body and said, "Come, Carolina, see your brother still. He looks really good. Like, of course, that body." I'm like, no, I cannot do that, because I was already traumatized with my culture. In my culture, I'm from Poland. For those who are new here, it's was that when somebody died, they expose the body, and then you just come to the exposed body and saying goodbye, and even you kiss the body. I had to go through as a little girl, and with my two grandfathers and one kind of old lady, it traumatized me as a child. So thinking about that, I need to see my brother dead. I was like, it was so hard for me even to hear that. No, so I went to funeral, but I know that the things were not uncompleted, and that's why I shared with you that it's not only the psychological level. Remember, we are not just bones, flesh. We are multidimensional. You know, so it is real that some souls do not transit properly, period. So my tip is, when you know that you've got someone sick and you know that they may die, or someone died suddenly, like there's accident or things like that, as soon as possible as they die, help them to transit. You can pray for them, you can put the candles on and pray for them and literally help them to transit, and clear any attachment to, to flat, to whatever life they had, to people. Help them to transit as soon as they die, because for sometimes the spirit is still, when the soul exit the body, the the soul is still around. Yeah, so we can help them to transit and do not get attached and then hanging around, and also making heavier the person life who is alive. I know that Angela, so beautiful. Yes, that's so big. That's so big for her. So prayers, candles, just help them to transit. When they die, you can still talking to them. You can still say goodbye. They hear you. They are still in these realms. Yeah. So absolutely, you can do that. What else I can share with you? Have you got any questions? Has this helped you? Do you have any specific questions? Sometimes on my sessions, the person who died comes, because I can see that the person who is on the session with me, they think that they complete the grief. But when we open the subject, you can definitely tell that they haven't completed. Yeah? I do not force, I never call, but happened me many times that very organically the spirit of the person who died coming to actually speak with the person who is with me on the session. And it's always so beautiful events where the souls are always want the person who is alive still here on this planet, live happy, live joyful, move on with life. They often can even apologize for things, but generally they really want that we are happy here. Oh, Angela, that's hard. The first anniversary, first birthday, first Christmas without these people are like really tough. And normally you already feel probably a few weeks before, or even few months, or maybe 1 or 2 months before these anniversaries, you can feel agitated. The grief is stronger. All of these emotions coming up, absolutely. So just be compassionate towards yourself. Just ask yourself what you need on a physical level, on emotional level, mental level, and just give this to yourself. It's so important to honor this journey so you can heal, you can complete it, and you can move on with life. Because you want to move on with life. And I know some people get attached. I want to hear from this person. I want to be connected. I know that some people I've heard, they are just going and doing some other things, calling spirits. But again, this is codependency. It's because you want, like I said, then other things needs to be happening before then just you just keep calling because you want to ease your pain. The spirit, the souls, they have their own journey as well, and we have to honor this as well when they transit. Yeah, so we need to be respectful both ways. Any questions here? Any shares here? Because actually I've shared with you all my tools, or actually my tips that could help you with, if you still feel like, yeah, it's been long and you cannot move. Has this helped you? I take time to sit when I can sense my friend Kathy nearby. Yes, perfect. 100%. They do come. They want to communicate. You can always communicate with them. Who recently lost a family member, don't know if it was unexpected, but we talk as usual, but I wonder how they are dealing with the loss. I want to try and fix or sweep away, and asking directly feels insensitive. Hmm. You know, intuitively you're gonna know. You know, at the beginning, if someone recently died, I wouldn't recommend to ask maybe directly unless you feel it's right. Because at the beginning, oh my God, it's shock. At the beginning, it's shock. It's like numbness. Like I remember myself for like weeks feeling numbed. Like my heart was like stone. Um, and or you can just be vulnerable. You can literally say, I really don't know even how to talk with you. Please tell me if it's too much, or if I'm asking too many questions. Just tell me, because I know that this is very delicate situation, but I just want you to know that if you need any help or any shoulder to cry or talk, I'm here. You can just be very vulnerable instead of pretending that it's nothing happening. It's huge process, but you being vulnerable and holding space for them and being intuitive, that either give them space that they need to process, especially the shock, but you can also tell them, hi, I'm here. I cannot even imagine what you're going through, how big the process is. And but remember, if you need anything, I'm here. Yeah. Yes, so I am sending so much love to all of you here who are dealing with this big process, or who you supporting with this process as well. Like holding space. It's a huge. I remember this first year, and I just got into new relationship. Gosh, poor guy. I had death by death. Like I just got with him, and first my father died, then my granny died, then my brother died. Which completely, smashed me, and then my two uncles. Gosh, I feel sorry for him. I really felt sorry for him. I said, oh my God, how he did manage with me, I have no idea, because I couldn't manage myself. So there is lots of compassion, lots of compassion towards yourself, and lots of compassion towards who are going through this guilt. Black with why didn't I stay with my husband body longer, stay with him longer, so I could be transition. He did not want to disappoint me by dying in front of me. Yes, Elizabeth, I'm just tuning into your message. He didn't want to hurt you. He didn't want you to watch that. He wanted to ease the whole situation. He wanted good for you. It's like what I'm getting. It's like I'm fine. But he knew that it's gonna be hard for you. So he wanted to ease your pain as much as possible. And he doesn't want you to feel guilty. There's no need for guilt. He actually wanted to protect you from that. He was okay, transiting. He was in peace. Yeah. I don't know even what to tell you, but I feel like just ask yourself, are there any other beliefs underneath? Let's say sometimes we have beliefs that we should do certain things, and this is very much cultural belief, religious belief, family belief, collective belief, yeah? And this actually creates guilt. Because when I'm tuning into you, your husband was absolutely fine. He just wanted to protect you and you to being at ease. Yeah, he wants you to be happy and move forward. Let go of the guilt. Sending you love and sending you beautiful hug. Whew. Elizabeth, Angela, yes, I am an anchor for my family, so I keep my grief to myself. Angela, I hope you have enough tools to keep this for yourself, because this can break you as well. I just want to share, if we pretend to be strong, this belief is so bad that it can break you and can make you ill as well. If you're trying to pretend I'm strong, I'm gonna hold that, without having enough tools in life to knowing how to help you release the emotions, the energies, how to properly hold space, you may become ill. Yeah, because it's just too much for you. Okay, you have therapist, perfect. If you're working with someone, amazing. Yeah, that's so important. That's awesome. I too lost my uncle, my boss and my mother within a month apart. Yes, it was too much, exactly. Now you cannot deal with this on your own. It was over 4 years and I still grieve, Kathy. 4 years, that's you should be able. 4 years, it's the time that you should move on. So I would suggest you to try things what I've shared with you at the back, for all this session. Because 4 years, you should already moving forward. Yeah, I understand if you were feeling first 2 years, for sure, it's a big process. But 4 years is now time to start moving forward and start completing that grief. So when I'm tuning into you, I'm sensing some emotional bodies being attached. This is what I shared at the beginning of the session. And you may need to work on that to release that, because it feels like you cannot complete the grief, but because there's some emotions being attached to you, and this is not even yours. Make sense? I would do different stuff, more on spiritual, energetic, soul level. And it's telling me you should call also your soul fragments back here, your energy back here. Yeah. Anything else you want to share, you want to comment, you want to ask? If not, we just finish this session. Feel free to connect with me anytime. If you have any questions, you need any support, I'm always happy to help. You are welcome, Angela. And thank you very much for the donations as well. And yes, I've scheduled some session next week, so check that out. And yeah, lots of love. Sending you lots of love and peaceful energies to heal fast, to complete whatever you need to complete, especially the grief, so you can move on with your life and create amazing life, new relationships, new career, or whatever your dream is. Start this year with these positive energies. Thank you, Siru, and thank you everyone for being here, and lots of loves. See you next time. Hey, thank you for checking these videos and content on my YouTube channel. I would love to invite you to membership for women that it calls Magnificent You. And the reason why it calls like this, because we combining spirituality, healing, and manifesting together to bring amazing fast results. Every month is a different topic. I'll be covering, let's say, money issues, sensuality, sexuality, health, clarity, having great goals and how to align ourselves with these goals. So every month there's a different topic. Those topics are very powerful, very relevant to our daily life. And on these sessions we're doing clearing and healings and doing powerful practices or ceremonies to help us to blossom, to thrive, to remember who we are, so we can fully step on our soul path and creating life from that place. So check my membership. You can find the link below, and I look forward